So, hello. I guess I'm live again. I'm always worried. I always sound so surprised, even though I'm the one pressing the button to go live. But I always feel so surprised because in Costa Rica, sometimes I can go live and sometimes I have no internet whatsoever. So it's always kind of an interesting process. Like, am I going to be online? Am I not going to be online? I had tried once actually telling you guys, hey, I'm going to be online in this time. And then I nearly had a panic attack because I couldn't get online. So I get really, really excited if I can actually get online. And I thought, oh my God, it's a clear night. Nothing is actually pouring down rain right now. And so I'm going to pop online and say hi. And I see a bunch of you are coming on. So hello. Mwah, 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 mwah. I can't wait to see everybody. I am coming back to the States for about 2 months. And so if you didn't catch me last time, you didn't hear that, I will be back in the States starting February 1st. But if you're one of my European loves, I am going back to Europe in the spring. I just don't know my schedule yet, so I'm super excited about all of this. And I wanted to pop on and tell you about some things. And also tell you some interesting things that I've been teaching in my classes. As those of you who have taken classes with me know, not only do I do yoga, but whenever I do my yoga classes and I get to teach my classes, which is pretty much all I do now, I don't really teach anyone else's kind of thing. I teach my yoga, my way, which I'm super excited about because I can be really, really authentic with you whenever I'm teaching. And one of the things I do is what I call the yoga off the mat piece. I know Sean Korn has this yoga off the mat, but I actually had called this that for years. Call it what you want, but it's basically where I say, hey, the teacher in me, which those of you who know, I used to be a high school literature teacher, the teacher in me always wants to give you something to think about. And the thing that I was having my class today think about was really, really cool, and I thought it was really powerful. And so I just thought, well, it's Sunday night, let's see who's on. I'm going to pop on and share it with you. So it's basically this. I was listening to a podcast. I forget who got me hooked on podcasts. Somebody got me hooked on podcasts, and sometimes in the morning I'll listen to podcasts. And I was listening to a podcast with Dr. Wayne Dyer. What an interesting man he was. And he actually had mentioned something, and then I think I heard another podcast which had said the same kind of idea, and I've heard this same idea several times, and so it really stuck with me. And the idea is simply this: no one cares about what you do. Like, seriously. Wait, let's start that over again because it's freaking huge. Okay, so go back for a second and think about this. No one cares about what you do. And that doesn't mean no one cares about you. So let's take that and set it aside. Of course, lots of people love you, lots of people care about you. But when you actually stop thinking that everyone's watching your every single move and caring about everything that you do, something really powerful happens. And I'll give you an example. So when I first got to Costa Rica, I had been invited out dancing. And I love to dance. Those of you who have known me for a long time know that I love to dance. I'm not saying I'm a good dancer. I'm not saying I'm a bad dancer. I just love to dance. So when I had this opportunity to go to a local place and go dancing, I was like, yes, let's do this. So we go dancing. I'm with this group. And unfortunately, a lot of the group was really there to drink. And I was really there to dance. And I see these local dancers who are really good. So I'm watching them and I've got my feet tapping. And then people ask me to dance and I'm having a great time. And then there's this one girl who's a visitor to Costa Rica, like I'm a visitor to Costa Rica, and I didn't know her before this night. She was just there for a couple nights, and she had come with the group as well. And I see her in the corner, and her feet are tapping, tap, 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 and I see she really wants to get out there. And meanwhile, I'm having the time of my life. I'm dancing with pretty much anyone and everyone who asks me. Men, women, old, young, I couldn't care less. If you want to dance with me, I'm going to be out there dancing. And I'm sweating at this point. Thank God I'm not wearing any foundation or anything because it would have all been gone. And I'm having this amazing, amazing time. So we're sitting there and talking for like one of my breathers. I said to her, why don't you come out and dance with me? I'm sure somebody would love to dance with you. And she goes, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. And I was like, why? And she goes, well, because they'll see me and they'll make fun of me, and I'm like, who's they? Like, you and I, we just came with this group that we really don't know anyone else, and who cares? Like who's going to see you? And so stop to think about that for a second. You could tell she really wanted to dance. If you were there, you would see her foot tapping, and she's like, and she didn't go and dance. She's in Costa Rica with real authentic music and real dancers out there who are doing all these really cool dances, and she didn't go and dance because she was afraid that somebody, some unknown, I don't know who they are, but somebody she doesn't know might see her and say something about her. And the thing is if you take that idea that I told you a second ago, that idea that nobody cares about what you do, and you approach it from that, then she probably would have gotten up and danced if she realized nobody cared whether she danced or not. Now, stop for a minute. And this is what I told my class today. I said they were all lying in Shavasana. We had just, before everyone gets out, that's when I give them these little things to think about. I feel like you're really receptive in Shavasana. You know, you've done your practice, you've been breathing, you're flowing, and all this stuff. And so I try to plant these little ideas. And it's really authentic because it's things that I'm working on, things that I'm thinking about. And it's this idea that no one cares about what you do. So all of you who are listening, and then I'll put this, of course, recorded, I want you to really think about it right now. What would change for you if you actually believed that nobody cares about what you do? What is it that you are stopping yourself from doing in your life right now that you would do if you really understood that nobody out there is watching you and judging you about what you do? Because the truth is, we're all so involved in our own lives that we're too busy to judge you about what you're doing, because we're too busy in our own lives and our own selves to really notice, oh my God, well, maybe you should have done a salsa instead of merengue or something. Who cares? So what are you not doing in your life right now because you think that somebody else is going to judge you? And when you take it from that approach, it is huge. I'll give you another example for myself right now. As many of you know who've known me for a long time, and as some of you who are just coming to my community, so thank you for joining us. Welcome to the tribe. And so I changed my whole life last year, right? You know, I stopped worrying about whether anyone was going to judge me about getting divorced. It was my life. I've been with somebody for a long, long time. I wish him nothing but love in life, but it was not working. It was time. And I stopped worrying about, oh my God, somebody's going to think that I failed in my marriage. So I got divorced. Then I thought, oh my God, you know, as great of a job that I had a really great job. I worked for a really cool person, and I was making really decent money. It wasn't what I was passionate about. I liked what I did. I enjoyed helping people in the work that I did, and I was quite good at it. I still actually get job offers, but it's not what I was passionate about. And for a long time I thought, oh my God, people are going to think I'm nuts because I want to change everything. And so I started and changed it. You know, I got my teacher certification for yoga, which I'm very passionate about. Those of you who've taken class with me know I get really, really excited about yoga. So if you haven't taken a class with me, please come take a class with me wherever I am in the world, because I love teaching yoga. And I thought, oh my God, people are going to think I'm nuts. But I changed anyway. So I started working in studios. And then as things were progressing in my life last year, you know, I've always loved to travel. And I really thought that my life was going to be very invested in travel. I traveled to Japan years ago, and I thought it was just going to go. And life happened, and I made different choices. Don't regret any of them. They were good. And I didn't end up really traveling. I mean, I went to a couple places, but that was more because opportunity happened to present itself, but not because I was creating this opportunity. And so I was online one night in the midst of divorce and changing careers to a yoga teacher and all this kind of stuff. And I was just thinking very small, like, how can I make this work here? And I was looking online, and I clicked on a world map, and I thought, oh my God, I want to go everywhere. You know, I want to go everywhere. That's what my whole life was about. I want to see other cultures and see these beautiful places that I've read about in books. I mean, my bachelor's degree is in classics, ancient Greece and Rome, and I'd never been to Greece, never been to Italy at that point, right? And so here it is last year around April, and I thought, my God, what are people going to think? At that point, I was almost 40 years old. I was a woman getting a divorce. I'd already changed careers from a very lucrative career and was turning down job offers so I could do this thing that I was passionate about. And suddenly I thought, well, I think it's time for me to travel. What are people going to think? And had I really thought about it then, I would have known that it really didn't matter what anyone thought, and nobody really cared anyway. And anyone who did know me would have really cared about my well-being, and if they didn't, it didn't matter. So now that I know this, no one really cares about what you do. It frees up so much because I'm making life decisions based on what I'm passionate about. And because I'm passionate about it, all of you are getting passionate about it. And we're having this really cool exchange. I talk to a lot of you, online, on Instagram, on Facebook. You send me direct messages. And I'm finding out a lot of you have these dreams. And some of the very things that used to hold me back are holding you back. And so when you approach it from, no one really cares, it's your life, get up and start living it. Dance if you want to dance. It's amazing what opens up for you. Truly, truly amazing. So I bought a freaking one-way ticket. I did, back in April. I had found an opportunity in France to work at a castle where I was teaching to volunteers, and I was also volunteering there as well, helping with renovations. I was taking pictures for their social media, and I got on that plane, and I haven't stopped since. That was September. And since that point, I have been to France, I have been to Italy, I have been to Germany, I have been to England, I've been to Switzerland, all these places I'd never been. I've hugged the Colosseum, like literally hugged the Colosseum. I'm sure that there is a tourist somewhere who has a picture of me hugging the Colosseum and probably bawling my eyes out at that point, because I was like, oh my God, this is the freaking Colosseum that I'd read about and studied about, and here I am actually hugging it. And I didn't care because no one cared. It was my moment, right? And when you take away that pressure for this mystical or anonymous they, there's no they. There's no one out there judging you. It's just you. And suddenly I realized it was only me holding me back. And so that's why I wanted to tell you guys tonight. I'd really been thinking about this all day. There's so much going on, so many good things, and some of it's scary as hell, because not only am I doing what I'm doing right now here in Costa Rica, but I'm about to go to the States and create these workshops under my name, and I'm making it up as I go along because I'm so passionate about sharing this information with you, about the fact that you can have a life you love. And it doesn't mean that you have to get on a plane and go halfway around the world. It may be right there, right where you are. You may already be doing it, but you haven't stopped to really be invested in the moment, And so that's what I'm going to be teaching in my workshops across the country. Universe willing, if all goes well, I'm going to be teaching the very lessons that I've been learning along the way. How you can get up. You can really love what you do every single day. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It's your life. It's so exciting when you approach from that. Every single day won't mean that you don't have bad moments. I had one the other day. I decided I was fat, ugly, and no one wanted to listen to me. I mean, it's human. We have these moments. And then I took a deep breath. Literally took a deep breath, and realized it was just a moment. It wasn't me. I wasn't suddenly going to get depressed. I was just having a human moment. And so I thought, well, what do I need right now? And I went and made a really nice lunch, lots of vegan food, because I love it. I had the opportunity because I didn't have to go into work for a couple hours, so I grabbed a boogie board and jumped in the ocean. And I called a friend and said, I'm having a moment. And then I got through the moment, and the rest of the day was great. Because you can have a passion-filled life. You can love what you do. You can love waking up in the morning. You don't have to wake up and think, oh God, it's Monday. Even if you work a normal job, there's no reason why you cannot have a passion-filled life. And what that does, when you take away the mystical they, these people who are going to judge you, when you get rid of that and realize that they don't exist, they do not exist. There's nobody stopping you but you. When you take all that away, some freaking magic stuff happens. When you start to breathe, some amazing things happen. When you stop stopping yourself from living your life, it is incredible what happens. And so that was what I wanted to pop on basically and tell you guys tonight. This was something I was teaching in my class today, and I just was thinking all day, because here I am. I've got a new newsletter that I'm about to start. So if you haven't signed up for it, please go to my profile. There's a link in the profile. Click on it, sign up, because I am spending a ton of time, which I don't mind doing, but it is a ton of time that I could be doing other things, answering the same kind of messages over and over again, saying, where are you and where are you going? And I'd much rather send out one email blast so that if you and I are communicating directly, it can be more like, hey, how is your life doing? And I can actually see how I can be of service to you, instead of you having to say, well, where are you? Are you going to be in my area? I'll send out one email that has that information, and then you and I can actually have real conversations about life and love and books and movies and yoga poses and food. Please talk to me about food, because you know I love to talk about food. And so, if you're just joining us, by the way, make sure when I post this later, go back and listen to the earlier part where I talk about what I was teaching in my class today, this idea that nobody cares about what you do. And when you take that, you take away the mythical they, these all-powering, all-knowing they who tell you about what you should and shouldn't do, and they don't exist, by the way, it's all in our own heads. When you take that away, it is so amazing what opens up for you in your life. So these are the kinds of things I'm going to be teaching, and not only am I going to be teaching it in workshops, so universe willing, it's going to all go well. I'm going to fly into Florida on the 1st. I am trying to solidify the venue for the Florida one this week. I'm waiting on one more place to tell me yay or nay. I've got 2 possibilities. It'll be towards the end of the month in South Florida. And then from there, I'm going up the East Coast. I'm figuring out right now what cities. New York, I see a couple people on from New York. I know I'm trying very, very hard to get to New York. I would love, so if you know somebody or a studio, or it doesn't even have to be a studio, a space that would be really conducive to having people come for a workshop that would be willing to work with me on it, because these are my first workshops under my own teaching. I'm super excited. So you're on this journey with me, then please let me know, because I would totally love to talk, and especially if I'm coming to a city near you, I could use your help. So this is me reaching out and saying, hey, I don't know every city in the country, and I don't necessarily know what studios might be willing to have a traveling yogi come in and do a workshop. And so if you know of a really cool space where people can get together and I can do a workshop, let me know, send me a message. That would be fantastic. Thank you, and I can't wait to see you. Carrie, I can't wait to see you in Florida. We are definitely going to connect. So please make sure that if you know of a place. So here's what's going on. I know some of you are just now tuning in. February 1st, I'm going to Florida. Then I'm working my way up the East Coast. I'm thinking Atlanta, possibly. I know I'm stopping in Tennessee, but it might just be just to visit a couple of people that I met in my travels along the way. I'm going up through Massachusetts, possibly Boston or Cape Cod, or maybe both. Who knows? Right now, everything is on the table. I'm trying to hit New York because I've been promising to go to New York for a long time. I'm trying to go to maybe even Maine. I don't even have a proper jacket, so I'm definitely going to have to get a jacket to do this. And then I might be kind of going diagonally across country to Texas, up through California, maybe Oregon, and I've met some really great people in my travels from Colorado who said you have to come check out Boulder, if not for a workshop this time, then for a next trip. So I'm going to try to do that, which I'm super excited about. Dylan, I just saw that you joined, and I just mentioned New York, and I'm trying to get to New York, so you and I are going to talk soon because I could use all the help, and I know Linda's in New York too, and I can't see who else is on right now, but I know there's a couple of my peeps who are in New York, so I could use help trying to find a venue in New York that I could do a workshop at. And then from there, the idea is that I'll be headed back out. I've been talking with some people about what I'm going to be doing in Europe. And if you want to do some really cool retreats, right now I'm in the negotiation stage for doing the retreat where I'm at in Costa Rica. I want to do it before high season hits, so it's going to be an unusual time of year. In Costa Rica, I want to do it, it'd be after Thanksgiving but before Christmas. It's a great time of year if you can get away. The beach is pristine, it is quiet. If we take a day trip, there's not tons of tourists knocking about everywhere, and the work we're going to do is incredible. We're going to really dive in and get you just living. So I am super excited about that. And so that's one retreat. And I'm also going to be doing 2 retreats. I'm right now working out details, so I don't have all the information yet, in either October or November. I will know more soon in Chamonix, France. Woo! It's so cool. So if you are a hiker or a skier, you may know this area because it has gorgeous hiking through waterfalls and glaciers, and it also has incredible skiing. And the time of year that I want to take you there is actually in between where all of you crazy hikers go home and all of you crazy skiers who are like massively good. I've never skied, by the way. If there's anyone out there who wants to teach me how to ski and snowboard, hit me up. This is my year to learn winter sports. So make sure that you grab me and make sure. Venues are my forte. I know, Dylan, why do you think you and I are going to talk soon? I need your help. And this is me saying, anyone who wants to help me make these things realities, help me, help me, help me. I'm so excited. The Chamonix France one, I'm doing couples retreat. So 3 couples at a time, really in-depth, healthy living kind of things. And I also am going to do a women's retreat there. So 6 women at a time, really diving in some cool goddess female energy. It's a gorgeous time of year. I already know several of the places that I want to teach and several of the places that I want us to hike. And so, and I'm working with locals. So this is not like, I'm not doing this through a big commercial venue. I'm doing this myself because I truly believe in the work that I'm doing and I want you to be a part of it with me. So in case you haven't noticed, I'm really excited about that. And I just saw Alfredo, I see you. So if you guys come to Costa Rica with me next year, Alfredo is the man to talk to about, if you've never surfed, learning how to surf. If you are a really good surfer, then go out there with him. Alfredo, I think you were like born on a surfboard. You're amazing. He's given me 2 lessons so far, and we're going to try to figure out some more times. I've managed to stay on for exactly 1.2 seconds, and the only reason why I'm staying on is because of Alfredo. So big plug there for you, Alfredo. Thank you so much. He's been helping me learn how to surf, and now I'm going to get him to do some yoga, right? Totally getting him to do some yoga. So this is what's going on, my loves. I am coming into the States February 1st. If you're going to be in any of the areas that I'm going to be in, I'm looking for places to stay, first of all. In Florida, I do have a place to stay. Traveling up through the country, I don't have those, and I would much rather crash on your couch, trade you some yoga, I'll cook for you some vegan food, than go to an anonymous hotel. It's not really much fun for me, and I much rather use that time to see all of my loves while I'm traveling. So if you have a couch, a floor that you don't mind a traveling yogi to sleep on, let me know, because I really would love it. If you're just tuning in, please, 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 please go to my profile if you haven't already after the video. Click on the link that is there. That is to my newsletter sign up. I will let you know where I'm going to be each time I know when along the way, and I'll throw in some cool stuff along the way too that people have been asking me for. Maybe a yoga pose, maybe recipes, maybe a meditation, maybe some random goofy pictures, you know, the ones I don't usually post on Instagram of me falling off of things all the time. So yeah, that's it. So if you tuned in late, when I post this later, please go back and listen to the first part, because I really wanted to share with you the idea that no one cares what you do, which is the lesson that I was teaching today in class, kind of my yoga takeaway, you know, because I truly believe, and this is something really important. If you're new to me, this is something you really want to know about me. I believe that yoga doesn't just happen when I'm on my mat. Yoga actually happens when I'm off my mat. So what I do on my mat is really cool. I love, 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 love it. I'm working back up. Those of you who know that I've had a shoulder injury last year, not from yoga, from sleeping. I'm a really restless sleeper. I actually popped the damn thing out in my sleep, woke myself up. I was having a really wild dream, not of the best kind, and scared myself and popped it back in. I've been working back up. I'm getting back to a handstand practice. I'm really excited. I actually did crow pose tonight in the sand, in the water, during the sunset. I've got a cool picture that one of the guests took of me in silhouette. I was so stoked because it's taken the better part of a year. And that was the other thing, along the same idea of, oh my God, nobody cares about what you're doing. Here I am, a traveling yoga teacher, and for the past year, every time somebody says, oh, for photos, can you just pop up into a handstand? I have to be like, no, actually I can't right now because I've been recovering from an injury. And a lot of times people kind of look at you like, really? Are you really? At least that's what I thought in my head. And then that idea, nobody cares. Who cares? Even if I couldn't pop up into a handstand, I can teach a handstand. Maybe I can't do the splits anymore. I can teach the splits. But the thing is in my mind, people were going to look at me and be like, oh my God, if you can't do all these crazy poses, are you a real yoga teacher? And the truth is, when I was 18 years old, there were lots of poses that I could do that right now, can't do so much right now, some of which I'm working towards, and some of which my body has had injuries over the years, and so they don't like those poses so much. And there's also a shitload of things. Am I allowed to curse on live feed? I think so. I've been practicing cursing this year. It's really cool. I'm practicing it without giggling, so look at how much better. Nope, there I go. I completely lost it. But there's a crap load, maybe that's a little nicer, a crap load of things that I can do now at the age of 40, freaking fabulous 40, that I couldn't do when I was 18. I feel stronger, I feel better. And so the idea is, who cares if I can't do this or I can't do that? The only person who actually cared about that was me. Photographers that I've worked with, and I've been so blessed already. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are a photographer out there and I'm going to be in your area, let me know. I'd love to work with you. I've learned so much yoga from photographers, and I've learned so many things about life and beauty and things through the photographers that I've worked with. But so many of the photographers, when I would say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, they'd be like, great, what's your favorite pose? What do you like to do? What do you do? Oh, I like this, I like that. And so all of a sudden I realized the only person who cared about the fact that at the time I couldn't pop up into a handstand was me. And I was the only one who was getting self-conscious about it. So again, if you haven't heard the beginning part of this video, go back to the beginning, because it's a really good lesson. It's one of the things that I'm going to be working with people on in my workshops, that idea that no one cares. The only person stopping you from a life of passion, is you. So before I sign off, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell every single one of my classes when we come back together as a group after Shavasana, after I've given them a little something to think about. And by the way, if you do think about these things, before I sign us off, if you do think about these things, please drop me a line, let me know how it goes. I always say in my classes, I love to hear your stories, and I cannot stress enough, I truly love to hear your stories, because it is because of you inspiring me that I am here right now in Costa Rica doing something I love and planning all these workshops and retreats and just going for it, knowing that I could totally fail, could totally fall on my ass, could totally not make it work, and I don't care, I'm going for it anyway because I'm so passionate about what I'm doing and I believe in what I'm doing, and I'm seeing how much change affects each and every one of you when you tell me your stories. So please don't stop sending me your stories. Please continue to comment on pictures. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you like what I'm doing. Let me know if you don't like what I'm doing. I want to hear from you. It is because of you that I am here. It's because of you that I jump up in the morning going, oh my God, I get to do what I love again today. Like, how unreal is that? So before I sign off, I want to tell you the same thing. So if you are still here with me, or if you're watching this later on a shared feed and it's no longer live, take a big breath in, inhale, arms up, exhale through heart center, and bowing forward to seal our time together today. I wish you light, I wish you love, I wish you tons of good health, because we need our health to do all the things that we love. And always, 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 I wish you joy, 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 joy. Namaste, my loves. I cannot wait to talk to you again. I will try to continue to pop on as often as possible. And with all my heart, thank you for listening. Mwah. See you guys on the mat soon. And if you're just popping on, I am popping off, but I will post this later. And make sure you go to my profile, hit the link, sign up for my newsletter. I love you guys. I cannot stress enough how awesome you all are. I'm here doing what I'm doing because of each of you. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.